This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
With Venmo Stash, a taco in one hand and ordering a ride in the other means you're stacking cash back. Nice. Get up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on your favorite brands when you pay with your Venmo debit card. From takeout to rideshares, entertainment, and more, pick a bundle with your go-tos and start earning cash back at those brands. Earn more cash when you do more with Stash. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
Welcome to No Question About That. I'm Ed, with Daniel today reviewing Manchester United 3, Fulham 2. We are back, Daniel. Title charge is on.
Oh, it's on. As I said, I bet on this. I had faith in the beginning of the season.
You knew Amorim's playing it across the back three for 90 minutes was going to get found out. He was going to get binned and Michael Carrick was going to come in.
Le voila.
What a transformation.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't love this performance. But I tell you what, part of me was almost kind of relieved when Fulham scored because I felt like it was coming and I felt like if there was time, we would get another one. I wasn't particularly surprised when we did, although my daughter came running downstairs at that point after we did, wondering if I was all right. So I wasn't quite as nonchalant as I might have intimated there, but I did think we'd win it once they scored because it felt like there was so much time left that the pressure would tell, which as it turned out wasn't the case at all. We just needed to look at them.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I mean, does say something about the spirit in the squad, I guess. I know that's a cliche, but they didn't just give up. I mean, they sort of, after Casemiro went off, they retreated somewhat, and Manuel Ugarte did his best to get himself a transfer out of the club this summer, which, everyone will be welcoming. And the shape kind of fell apart a little bit. But as you say, once Fulham scored the second, United was straight up the other end of the pitch. There's something about Carrick ball. It might get found out in time because it is quite a simple game plan, isn't it? It's get the ball, play it forward, try and score goals.
Yeah, I mean, I think the major difference is almost the more out of possession than in possession. And we'll talk about that later in the tactics pod, I guess. But it feels like the players aren't afraid to express themselves. And what you said about they didn't give up. I mean, I wouldn't say I expected them to give up because I don't think they did that under Amorim. It's more, there's a bit more composure there now that they actually feels like they believe in what they're doing. So that enables them, first of all, to score. And also, I thought, they did see it out quite well also eventually after scoring the third goal. I mean, I didn't... You mentioned Casemiro going off. Yet again, it kind of lost the grip of the game in midfield. And it's just like, it feels like, we're learning... You can't bring him off when you've got 2 goals to play with because you can easily concede one.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. I mean, I think we all felt he was done and his legs had gone, and he certainly helped by only playing 1 game a week. He couldn't do this if it was twice a week, clearly, but he has had quite an Indian summer, hasn't he? It's been a brilliant season from him, and he's important in both boxes, puts in the work defensively. He scored a great header today. Like there's something about his presence seemed to make a big difference to United. I think he's also helped by having another body in midfield. You know, like crazy thought this, but maybe Casemiro is quite a good player. You know, we'll find out where his ceiling is, but maybe he's all right. And Amorim should have used him. You know, it's like having a new signing, isn't it, Dan? But I mean, this momentum is real. Like 2 wins. This was a very difficult game. Fulham were a good side. They worked out quite quickly how to get in behind United's press in the first half. You know, it wasn't aggressive enough. United dropped back into a mid-block in the second half. They put Kobbie Mainoo basically man-to-man on Alex Iwobi. It helped us get a bit more control. But this was a tough game, and it's a big win.
Yeah, I felt like there were periods in that game, and not just when we were hanging on at the end either, where I was like, goodness, I fucking love a midfield controller here. And I'm not sure how you go about finding one, because we're also going to need midfield legs, and if that exists in one player. But what we didn't have at any point of the game, really, and maybe Mainoo can become this, because I thought his passing was good today.
More vertical as well. I mean, I think he was taking a couple of passes went astray, but he was trying a riskier pass, and I think that's good for him, career-wise.
Even though I felt like we defended okay when we were seeing it out, we didn't have anyone who was kind of keeping control in the play and taking heat out of things, really. I mean, Amma tries to do it, but obviously you can't rely on a winger like that. But yeah, like that's something we're going to need, but we know we need that. And at the moment, what we're seeing is Carrick make much more of the pretty significant raw materials he's got than Amorim had. And I mean, I thought he gave quite a clever answer when he was asked about the full-time job. Like, I think it was before the last game, where he just said, I'm not going to answer this question every week. It's very hard not to ask it every week, particularly when United are winning. But I mean, for me, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens. But at the moment, I'm mainly just enjoying watching United play a bit more like United, watching the players play with a bit more attitude, a bit more enjoyment. And we'll take it from there.
A lot of the change is about intent. I mean, you mentioned the out-of-possession stuff. That clearly has changed. It's basically a 4-4-2, and he changed it at half-time as well, which was needed, I think. But the attacking piece is the word everyone hates, you know, platforming the players, getting them in their best positions, letting them do the things they do well. I thought today, I mean, Mbeumo is lively, should have had a penalty, probably should have been a red card for Cuenca in the first half.
I feel like that was the kind of offence, and it was quite similar to Harrence's one later.
It was almost exactly the same as Harrence's.
Harrence's looked worse, but it was that same thing where player gets minor touch on ball and then cleans out the player.
Yeah.
And actually, the Cuenca one, in a way, I felt was worse, because I feel like he actually might, when you look at it from behind, it looks like actually he may have cleaned him out before he touches the ball. But
that's right. Yeah.
I felt like, in terms of like what the offence was, you get a little touch on the ball and you don't take it away from the player, then you follow through into the player. I mean, to me, that's a penalty both times.
Yeah, Harry's probably unlucky, but you're right. He has taken the player as well. Cuenca, I don't see how you can argue that that's not a penalty. I think the point I was going to make before we got onto the penalty, which is a non-penalty, is an important one, is I wondered whether Sesko could have been on him earlier. And because he looked a bit of a liability there. He didn't look like he was up for the kind of physical battle. Even Mbeumo's big ass was giving him trouble. But like what United have done, what Carrick has done is just, it's the intent. It's attack. It's play. It's pass forward, run forward. You know, that old Fergie thing. Maybe it's not the most sophisticated game model. We'll find out in time whether he makes other adaptations. But it works we've got good players. Let them fucking play, you know, and that didn't happen for so long under Amorim. And it's just like entertaining to watch as well, isn't it? Like a United team playing like a United team should.
And I felt like on the balance of the team, I mean, words they never thought they'd say, we missed Patrick Dorgu, who gives us a bit more pace. We lacked a bit of pace in attack, the ability of someone to go around the outside on the left-hand side. And Cunha's kind of, I wouldn't say he's a conundrum, but you've got this guy who makes goals happen, and he makes brilliant goals happen as well. I don't feel like we're getting enough from him in general play. And I think I've got in my notes that I would have swapped Cunha for Bruno at half time because I felt like Bruno was kind of getting out physical quite a lot and didn't play well today. 2 assists. It's just fucking ridiculous. Really him. So it feels like Cunha is not really a left winger in a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. I mean, he'll do it and we'll see him do brilliant stuff like he did today. The team won't be as balanced. And maybe there's a way to make it work with a bit more fluidity behind the striker. Or maybe if you've got more of a reference point striker like Sesko, it gives you a bit more scope in behind him. Or you buy a left back who can take the outside, and that allows Cunha to take that inside left channel. Don't know.
I think it's the latter. I mean, if you look at Carrick's model under Middlesbrough, he did push one fullback really high and the other tucked in to counter the transitional stuff. And I wonder whether Luke Shaw really has the physicality to do that anymore, and he probably doesn't. I mean, and then it's a thing to solve in the summer, isn't it? You know, do we need an attacking left back? And I think that's what you'll get. What you probably need to get the best out of Cunha, he's going to drift inside from that left hand position in this kind of system. He needs someone going on the outside to balance United's attack. Otherwise, it becomes a bit predictable, doesn't it? I mean, we've got so many players who we've got Ahmad and Bumo. Shea Lacey was in the squad again today. They all want to play in the same position, basically. United were linked with Cole Palmer, who wants away from Chelsea. He's a United fan. We'll have like a team full of left-footed attacking tiki-taki.
Like Van Gaal, different version. Like Van Gaal after left-footer. But I've also just seen in my notes, I've written how to get Cunha involved, and then he starts moving. As I'm writing this on my notes, he turns up on the right-hand side, and I don't know what Carrick wants from him, and I don't know what we want from him either. Do we want him to just stay in your position and wait for the ball to come to you and be patient, or do we want go and find the ball? Because that is how we get our first goal, is Cunha's down the right.
Well, there was a lot of talk last week about comparing this year's Arsenal to 2008-9 United. Fucking stupid.
There are a lot of camps about, guys.
But we had 3 players there, Rooney, Tevez and Ronaldo, who all wanted to play through the middle, and basically they found a way to get balance in that team. And it ended up the balance in the team with Wayne Rooney moving left, Ronaldo through the middle and Tevez right often. But, you know, there's something about the fluidity. He's a brilliant player, Cunha, and I don't know, he's like a leg spinner in cricket. You know, he might get smacked around, but he's going to get someone out. With Cunha, a lot of stuff went bad with him today. He didn't feel like he was quite sharp. Some of his passes were misplaced. He wasn't making the right runs. He came narrow and got in Bruno's zone all the time. And yet he scores a brilliant goal, and he did it at Arsenal as well. And it's like, how do you find the balance to get the most out of this player who's, you know, an extreme talent, but maybe with Patrick Dorgu in the side, a Danish left back, United would be better balanced. It's weird saying that, isn't it? Since we spent most of the last year going, we're not sure if Patrick Dorgu is good or not. And
now he's become the reincarnation of Gareth Bale,
apparently.
But on the first goal, did you think it was penalty? He starts tugging him back outside the box, fine. But the way I see it, what makes Cunha fall over is he shoves him on the blind side.
Yeah.
And so to me, like, there's not a penalty for the shirt pull, but he pushes him. I mean, I didn't think they were going to give it once they'd started making the fuss about it.
When he gets the ball as well. I mean, it's funny. It's like all 3 of the ones here, they are similar in a sense, because he does get a toe on the ball there, and that's why it's not been given as a penalty, but the shirt pull has been. Yeah,
I mean, to me, it was a shove, and I thought it was penalty. But what I love about this goal is that the ball's in the air, and I'm already going goal. Because I can see it's a great ball. I can see who's under it. And when that happens, you're like, goal.
It's old-fashioned, isn't it? You know, Arsenal got all the fancy routines and stuff. We've got a couple of big bastards with big heads who want to attack the ball. There was nothing, like, there's no fancy stuff there. Bruno just floated the ball.
There was no set-piece coach that evolved.
Yeah, no, he's just like, brilliant player on the ball. Get it to Big Harry's head or Casimiro's head. Goal. Job done. We're going to miss that.
Yeah, what a dude Casemiro is, man.
I mean, I had to hold my hands up. I thought he was done. I thought he couldn't do it anymore physically. And, I mean, clearly he can only play 60, 70 minutes once a week. But they're a good 60, 70 minutes, aren't they? You know, he's having a very, very good season. And what balance United get there in the summer with the midfield would be interesting, because all the players we're looking at, I don't know, like, maybe some combination of them is right. I don't know what the right combination will be.
My guess is that Anderson is probably the favourite just because he's the most reliable. Wharton gets injured and is a passer.
Not a destroyer.
It's not so much a destroyer, but what I think with Anderson is that even on a bad day, he'll still give you loads.
Yeah.
And Balaba's obviously had a crap season. Doing business with Brighton's a pain in the arse. So my guess is that the first choice would be Anderson, whether I fear that he'll go to a better team than United at this point.
Mind you, on the run we're on, we're in a really good position to make the Champions League now. I mean, there were rumours, there were reports that City wanted him. I mean, it depends whether we ever get an answer on the 115 charges. Obviously, they have no problem spending the money on wages and or offshore accounts and transfer fees and stuff like that. So, we could get out-muscled financially, and he may just want to go to a cleaner bet, unless they're playing in the Championship, and then maybe he doesn't. So, we'll see. But yeah, it's going to take a lot to replace Casemiro and find the right balance and get the most out of Kobe. Obviously, I'm hoping, you win the Champions League, I imagine Bruno won't go. Like, what would be the point?
I mean, unless he's got, say, Bayern on the table and he just wants to get some medals before he quits.
Yeah.
In terms of where else, it's hard to see where else he might go. And for the Champions League, look, I was going to say it's 2 out of 3, but it might actually be 3 out of 4, given that Villa lost. Well, they're 5 ahead of us now.
5 ahead, yeah. We've still got to play them.
Yeah, let's say Villa are there, because I think they'd need to lose when everyone else won for it to feel a bit closer. But 2 out of 3, and obviously all 3 of those sides are in a bit of form now. Liverpool's starting to at least attack properly. Chelsea, big win yesterday, although going 2-0 down to West Ham. They only really played well for about half an hour in that game, but you don't. The level of confidence they'll get from it will be significant. I don't think they're going to find it as easy to score goals as United and Liverpool will.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, if that happens, it would probably take Bayern, because it's probably fair to assume Bruno's not going to Barcelona or Real Madrid. The only club that can really offer guaranteed silverware that would be worth his while is Bayern.
Yeah.
But unless his family just wants to change, he just wants to change. And so it's almost like nothing personal to United, and he'd maybe move even if we were better. It's just, he wants to do something different in his life. But it doesn't feel like the way things are going, if they carry on going like this, that he's going to leave, because he's playing well, seems to be enjoying himself, and there's a good vibe.
Yeah, even when he doesn't have his best performance, he 2 assists today.
Class dismissed.
This class again?
Don't sit in courses you've already taken. University of Phoenix accepts eligible transfer credits and has a scholarship for transfer students. Finish your degree faster.
You don't show up for easy. You show up to chase the rep that scares you, the tempo that shakes your legs. That's why you're in the Lululemon Wonder Train Tight. Built with our fastest drying fabric, it stays comfortable even when you go hard. And it's now available in no line with 0 front seam, so you can tackle your toughest challenges seamlessly. Shop Wonder Train and all new Wonder Train No Line in-store and online at lululemon.com.
They always tell you there's a catch, a compromise, an asterisk. Terms apply. See store for details. May be less than advertised. May vary by mood. Probably. Sprite Zero Sugar? It's different. It's the lemon lime flavored refreshment you want with 0 sugar. So, no fast voice? No caveats. Just refreshment. This is Sprite Zero Sugar. Obey your thirst.
Can we talk about Casimiro's no-look pass?
Yeah, let's do it.
For Cunha's goal.
Oh.
We praised Casemiro earlier for his defensive contribution, his big head. It's just brilliant. He looks the wrong way, plays the ball into the channel, and Cunha finishes it into the roof.
It's also
great.
My favourite thing about the no-look pass is actually the expression on the face of the person playing it, because it's never just like a stony face. There's always kind of goggly eyes or whatever.
Yeah, give it the full eyes. Yeah.
And Casemiro, he's just got one of those. He's just got a cute face. even though he's an old man. And there's just something adorable about Casemiro. And so, yeah, it was a great pass. And the kind of finish that it was is a finish we're seeing a lot more of. And I think I've read on the internet that clubs are training it now, that it used to be the case that strikers would be coached and encouraged. If you're coming down one side of the box, you're told to go across the keeper, because if he shovels it out, you've got a better chance of a rebound. Whereas this season, we're seeing a lot of rising finishes hit high inside the near post, because I think that's, if you hit that right, no one's saving it. And that was what happened with the finish.
He certainly hit it right. Yeah. And the dance.
With a bit more wobbly knees this time.
What music is he dancing to there, Cunha, when he's doing that dance?
The music of his soul, man.
It's like a surfboard dance, isn't it? You need a bit of Beach Boys or Hawaii Five-0 or something like that. Very good. Yeah. What else happened in this game? I mean, United, it was kind of, I guess, sort of unlucky in a sense to be pegged back. I mean, we got the penalty. By the way, that penalty should be retaken, not allowed to stop. You did it twice. I mean, it's clear as day. You're not allowed to do a stutter step anymore. You have to have continual forward momentum, and he's stopped dead twice. And then the second goal, I don't know, you can blame anyone there. Should someone have got closer to him? Manuel Ugarte wasn't tight.
Ugarte's kind of the nearest. Obviously, I was keen to blame him. And there's something very strange going on with his hair, incidentally. Like, it's got very, very fat at the back. But no, sometimes you've just got to say, nice one, Kevin, I suppose.
Kevin, what a name.
Yeah. Because it was also one of those where you're like, is this another one that Lummens gets nowhere near?
He got nowhere near it, but it's right in the top corner.
No, he couldn't have saved it. And he did make a couple of good saves when he needed to.
Yeah, he did.
And I felt like their goals, I wouldn't actually, just one quickly on our second goal. The thing that I really liked about the second goal was it comes after some sustained pressure. That every time they get the ball back, the rest defence is good enough, the players are alert enough so that United win the ball. And Casemiro actually they win it, they lose it a few times, like they're probing, they're prompting, they lose it a few times. And then eventually Casemiro wins it, gets it back, and then plays the pass. And
yeah.
That's one of the things that I've missed most since Fergie, that I think Fergie was hottest on, was sustaining attacks, ring fencing the box, keeping opponents penned back. We've really struggled to do that and build up a head of steam where it feels like the goal's inevitable. But
yeah,
we did it in that kind of passage of play before the second goal. Not for that long, really. Probably, I mean, I'm going to say a minute, but it might not have even been that. But it was enough because for them, the ball to get cleared, keep coming back. And it was just pressure. And pressure brings goals. And what actually triggered me to say that was looking at my notes and seeing that I've written that about their goals as well. Like, it wasn't like United were under the cosh under pressure, but I couldn't say the first goal totally surprised me. They'd sort of started to build some good situations. We'd started to let them. Casimiro's not there. And so, yeah, like, it's that ability to create and sustain pressure. And now that we've got the number of good footballers on the pitch that we do, we should be able to get better at that.
Yeah, I think that's right. And the balance in midfield helps that as well, right? Because if the move breaks down, they can recycle it because they're not totally open in midfield. I mean, it's only 3 games under Carrick, so we've got a lot more to see of this and understand exactly what his model is, but they do seem to be getting Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo in the right positions to recycle the ball when the first phase of the move breaks down. The rest defence, as you say, keep the pressure on and enough there to counter any transitions. Didn't really get caught by Fulham that often today. I mean, there was that little tweak at half-time because they were playing it through our first phase press a lot in the first half, especially to Alex Iwobi, who I guess probably didn't come on TV afterwards and say, hey, we knew we'd be able to get behind their midfield.
But they did.
Yeah. But they did. So, I mean, we know there are limitations physically, technically in the squad. I think Carrick's doing his best to try and get these, get the most out of these players possible. And getting the most out of these players, we've seen after 14 months out under Amorim, is when we have attacking intent. Right, so even if there's risk going the other way, it's worth it because we're quite able to give away stupid goals if we just try and defend.
Yes, indeed. Something else I enjoyed. Just have a look if you didn't notice. But after the first goal, Cunha's giving Casemiro a cuddle, but he's got his eyes closed and he's resting his head on him like they're in love.
His head on his shoulder, yeah.
like they're in love. It's delightful.
Oh, very nice. Word for Benjamin Sesko.
Why has he... Can we start with his hair, please?
He's gone full number 2 there, hasn't he?
Well, it's like, I totally understand dyeing your hair silly colours when you're young. I did it myself. But what I don't understand is the colours that he is dyeing his hair, where he's going in and saying, can you make it look like I'm growing grey and I'm just for men? It's almost like it's like Renton in Trainspotting. There's a bit of that.
Right.
But it just... I guess it's meant to look artificial, but why would you want it to look artificial in that colour? I can't wrap my head around it at all.
No, and shaving it short. Yeah, I did that when I was like 18 at uni. I shaved my head short, or in fact, I went to the barber's and the barber made the same joke every single time for 3 years at uni. When he got the straight razor out to do the little trimming around the neck, he was like, now this is where I ask if you've got the money to pay, sir. I was like, ho, ho, ho. You're going to slice my throat if I can't afford to pay. But yeah, I thought he had perfectly fine hair before Sesko. Anyway, his first touch was a header onto the post. He probably should have scored that. He's good enough in the air.
He should have scored, but I was surprised he went that way. I thought he'd go back the way it came from. But yeah, he should have scored. But that, in a way, makes it more impressive, the goal that he scored, because he shows proper composure. And I think also he was involved in play breaking down, maybe, for the attack that gives them their second goal. But what I like about the goal is, number one, is one of the greatest goals you can score after the opposition has scored. And particularly even more so when it's an injury time and you've thrown away a 2-goal lead. But I think we said last week, maybe on the Tactics show, but that one of Bruno's biggest strengths is his ability to turn without playing the ball, or the first touch that allows him to pass around the corner. And we saw it where he turns Calvin Bassey, who's got some pace, and Bruno still gets away from him. The pullback's obviously brilliant. And what I liked about it with Sesko is he's really deliberate without being too careful, because he knows that this might be it. Like the game is here. And it all takes long enough for that feeling to creep up on him. But he shows brilliant composure. Take a good first touch, takes his time. He could have backheeled to Mbumo. He could have done something else, but he instead, it's a really clever finish, because the keeper basically doesn't have a chance of saving it because defenders there. Yeah, in the way.
Yeah, he doesn't even look. Actually, he just knows where the goal is. I think it may be misplaced, but I feel like I have a lot of faith in Benjamin Sesko as a striker, and I think there's a lot more to come from him. It's been a stop-start season, he came injured and not fit. He got another injury. He's in and out the side. Carrick started Mbumo 3 times, but there's a lot more to come from him. So I think we'll be good with this one. Time will tell how good.
Well, yeah, he's a good player. The worst case scenario is selling him for roughly what we paid for him, you would think.
Yeah, and it won't be this summer.
And if we were to qualify for the Champions League, he's scored a crucial goal in doing that is worth some of that transfer fee.
Yeah.
The question with Sesko is, for me, is whoever the manager is, what kind of football they want to play. And the football that I want to see United play involves a lot of quick, particularly given where the game's going. We're seeing a lot of deep blocks, or just physical teams who are good at defending or good at closing off space. One way of getting around that is set pieces, which is one of the reasons we're seeing a lot more of those. I feel like we should be seeing them anyway, because why should we not be seeing them? It's an opportunity to score goals. It shouldn't just be because this isn't working, so we'll do that. It should be, whether or not this is working, we're going to get fucking good at these, because we get 8 corners a game. Why would we not want to get good at taking them?
Marginal gains and all that.
On which point, when we had that corner, literally the last kick of the first half, why would you not send the goalkeeper up? I don't know if we're ever going to see that. But when you really know it is it's not possible for them to score down the other end, I would send the keeper up. But other than that, I think the other way around low blocks, one way is to try and get down the sides, and another way is fast dribblers and fast combinations. Now, I think we're going to need to see more from Sesko in the quick combinations, the one-touch stuff, the thing that York and Cole were so good at, that Ole got really good at as well. We're going to need more of that. because if he wants to make that role his own, his first touch is going to need to be really secure, not just in the hold-up, but in the passes that he chooses to play, 1-2 touch stuff. And if he can do that, then he's got a big future at United. If not,
I think
he
you're
might
right.
still have, because there's still a lot there, but it makes him more someone to whom you have to tailor your style of play, rather than you pick your style of play and he has to fit in with that. If he's not reliable and secure in possession and good imagination, good first touch, good second touch, then you need to be thinking a lot more about crosses. Whereas if you can get involved in the play, then you can be a bit more organic about when you cross the ball and when you try and play through.
Right. Yeah, I think that's all fair. I mean, he can do it. It's inconsistent, isn't it? Sometimes his first touch is great and he does bring other players into play. He's quite happy dropping off. He did a lot of Leipzig last season. And then sometimes it's just really untidy. So it would be nice for him to get consistent, but his all-round skill set's better than Højlund's.
By far.
Yeah, and much better. I know that's obvious. If United are in the Champions League, it will be interesting to see what they do in the transfer market. Clearly, they're going to buy 2 central midfielders, probably, right? I mean, Ugarte will be sold. Casimiro's leaving. There's a lot of headroom in the wage budget. We'll get another guaranteed 100 million, right? So it'd be interesting to see whether they would be interested in bringing another striker in. How do they feel about Chido Obi's development? Like, at what point do you need? Because you can't have just one striker. And Mbumo's, I think he's still more effective off the right.
Well, he's kind of finds himself there half the time anyway. Even when he's
I know. It's the. I mean, he's not a reference point. So in games where United are under pressure, he's obviously useful if there's a lot of grass to play in, less if there's not. But you want a balance, right? You want different tools for different types of games, and so it'll be interesting to see whether United would want another striker in the summer or not. We're looking forward to it. You know, it could all still fall apart. It is really tight. Mind you, I look at Chelsea, I look at their squad. Every time I look at it and I look at their lineup, I'm like, they really need to spend another 300 or 400 million. And yet they've spent 1.2 billion over the last 3 years. So,
would you take Rashford back?
It's an interesting one. I think for him personally, given what happened with him, it would be better for him to stay away from Manchester, wouldn't it? There were reports this week that Carrick wants him back.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Obviously, it's not going to happen this season, but if he gets the job full time, he'd want him back.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think my heart says fuck yeah, and my head says fuck no for him and for us. Yeah. And he's doing all right at Barcelona. He's not the main man. Now Rafinha is fit again. And he was a brilliant substitute for United and for England. I wouldn't necessarily. And also, the kind of player United want in that position really is not him now. I think feels like we want a left footer.
Well, look, it's not bad strategically for United to float the idea in the media that we're quite happy to have him.
Rather than someone come and take this arsehole away approach.
Exactly. Yeah. Bomb squadding players doesn't do much for their market value, you know. So
I felt like Amorim sort of had to do it and take the hit because he just needed to get players out, and there needed to be a line in the sand that certain shit wouldn't be acceptable. Whatever that shit is, we don't really know. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not good for business.
No. I mean, I don't think Barcelona have the money. They are looking to sell players. They might be they may get under La Liga's financial rules a 1-for-1, right? So €1 in allows them to spend €1 out. They've not been in that position for a long time, but they still have a massive amount of debt that they have to service. They've sold off, you know, the media rights, the future media rights, part of their sponsorship. They've had to, you know, unleash bonds, which are unpopular, and all sorts of stuff, right? So it's not clear that they will have lots of money to spend. They've got to replace Lewandowski as well. So them looking for another loan might be what's on the cards. United should get a fee for a player of his quality. Anyway, all that's to come, I guess. For now, I mean, United, like, looking at it, like, the top 5 will make the Champions League next season. For sure, right? If you look at the coefficient, England are going to, and they've, like, it's only Newcastle have to play in the playoff, and I think they're playing Qarabag, aren't they? So, if I remember that correctly, the Premier League are going to get a lot of coefficient points, so it will be the top 5. Might even be the top 6 if City win the Champions League, or Arsenal do, more like Arsenal.
It does definitely look like we've got a really good chance of European football.
It'd be hard to blow it from here, honestly. I mean, we'd be looking at Brentford having to overtake us, basically.
Is this for conference or for Europa?
For Europa, it's probably, sixth place maybe Europa, that's right. And the other Europa place goes to the FA Cup winners, which won't be us.
It's annoying, that. I'm
really
thinking about watching the game. It's like it's a shame that we had a difficult draw and we couldn't just find a way.
Real shame. Real shame. It would give a little bit more impetus to the season, wouldn't it? You know, it always feels like, because we don't have that cup competition, we're going to get a week off in February, aren't we? So I think we play on the 10th and the 15th and the 23rd or something like that. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just something to look forward to. That ultimately, like, I'm enjoying watching United play. I guess I am looking forward to watching United play, but there's not like a buzz of wicked. I hope we come fourth or fifth. Brilliant.
No, I know it shouldn't be where we are, right?
No, it's not even about whether that's our level or not. It's just that's not what got us excited about football.
No,
and finishing, true. even if it's a good season, it constitute almost a good season for us, and we'd have took it. If you'd offered it us at the beginning of the season, we'd took Champions League. So thank you very much. But it's not glory. There's no glory in that shit.
No, very true. Very true. But there will be, I think we can feel reasonably confident there will be some kind of European football next season.
Yeah,
the Conference League's not great unless you really want to, embed some younger players, and especially the group phase.
Oh my goodness!
8 games against the Finnish third place side.
I mean, we should also talk about those big protests against the Glazers, and
there was, yeah.
And this is one of those things where obviously we're all against the Glazers. Like I've said probably a million times, I gave up my season tickets after the takeover. I sold them on for a couple of years, and then because I felt, long story actually, but then gave them up subsequent to that, and so I don't want the Glazers in charge, is what I'm saying. But what is the alternative? And I think Jim Ratcliffe is an arsehole, but what is the alternative?
Yeah. They're all bad, Daniel.
And so Ratcliffe, I mean, he talked about, and it felt like a threat when everyone was singing Jim Ratcliffe's a cunt, which was obviously tremendous. And he was talking about he'll sell if it stops being fun. Now, I don't want United to be Jim Ratcliffe's little fun endeavour at all. But do I want Jim Ratcliffe to sell? I'm afraid I think my answer is fuck no.
Yeah,
because
I don't think the alternatives are good, And
it's not the alternative. It's not even whether the alternatives are good. It's whether the alternatives are better or worse.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not sure who a better alternative would be. And that's not because I think Jim Ratcliffe's brilliant alternative at all. I don't. I just think that there's a lot of arseholes around who would be worse than him, and worse for United, because we're surely only talking, and I think you said this a couple of weeks ago, we're talking venture capital or we're talking state. And those are a lot worse.
There aren't many states who could do it. Like, you'd have to construct if you think about like who in the Gulf, the Qataris already have a club, the Saudis already have a club, UAE already has a club. I guess you could, if there was a Dubai-based like consortium of some kind, but it's not actually where the wealth is in the UAE. Like, China are not buying football clubs, although Xi Jinping told Keir Starmer this week that he's a United fan. So Kim Jong-un is a United fan as well. Maybe the North Koreans want a bit of United. What a tremendous purchase that would be.
Whenever I see Xi's name, I always think someone's picking a football team.
I know. It's a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. G's 11, right? But what else is there? Is US private equity. Do we want a Clear Lake type group at United? No fucking thanks. Tech billionaires don't appear to be interested in football clubs, but there are a few of those. Not many. It's a very short list, right, of people who could afford $6 billion. We know that Jim Ratcliffe wanted a controlling stake. It's there in the document. I don't know why people keep arguing with me on social media about this. You can bloody read it yourself. Oh, by the way, since we're talking about interesting documents, Avram Glazer in the Epstein files.
I saw that. I mean, it's always the ones you least expect.
The least surprising thing ever, that was. I guess we should just mention it's just his name associated with flight logs. No suggestion that he procured young ladies. I don't think, yet. Deary me, yes. So anyway, look, every option is bad on ownership. I don't think we're going to get some kind of benevolent dictator who knows all about football and has got the money as well. So probably the best road is a Ratcliffe full takeover, because at least he's not extractive. You know, as if he wanted to sell and the Glazers took back, not that they would, because they wanted the money as well. Or we get Silver Lake or one of these US asset management companies. That's not good either. Like I don't think that's what we want for United. So unfortunately, I said this on the preview show I did with Wayne. Like, visible protest is great. They need to know that we're here. It would probably help if we had a clear ask, right? So Glazers out, Ineos out is not an ask.
So I agree. And I think for me, the focus should be on what Radcliffe would change under pressure. And that's when you're starting to talk about ticket pricing, moving people about, what they're doing with away tickets and ID and digital away tickets, not letting people pass them around their mates, but letting the club pass them and the sponsors pass them to whoever they want. Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. Yeah, and those seat licenses, if they build the new stadium, and increasingly, I feel like I don't trust these dickheads to knock down Old Trafford and build a new stadium that would be acceptable at all. But anyway, but it's those should be the kind of protest, because otherwise, I feel and this isn't to particularly criticize people that are getting off their asses and trying to do something about the situation. Like, good for them. It's just the ask of Glazers out is, and then what? Yeah.
That's the thing. I always have
obviously, not so much Glazers out, because Glazers out, I guess, is a full sale to Ratcliffe, and that's not great, but it feels like it's the tastiest of the shit sandwiches on the menu.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's not because I love Jim Ratcliffe, who he is, or his politics or worldview or anything like that. I think that's all shit. But yes, you're right. Well, let's munch on that shit sandwich, I guess. All right, what have we got coming up next? Is it Spurs next? I forget. Or West Ham?
When's West Ham?
I think, let me have a look. It is Spurs next Saturday, West Ham on Tuesday night.
I mean, Spurs, I'm watching them now, actually, out the corner of my eye, and they're losing 1-0 to City, and it could be more. I mean, Spurs are wank. We should have beaten them under Amorim. We didn't. Yeah, we should beat them.
Yeah, they are wank, and they play a kind of football that has Spurs fans asking for. Well, they were chanting, you're getting sacked in the morning last week, weren't they? So
I mean, it's also with the Spurs, when these kind of denizens of style have had how many actually stylish teams in the last 60 years?
I know. I always think about the same about West Ham. They're like the West Ham way. They've been shit since the 1960s. They had one good team in their entire history. Spurs, they haven't won anything in... When's the last time they actually won a trophy? I forget. Well, apart from the Europa League, fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. I had to remind myself of that, getting cucked by Tottenham.
But before that, it was the Juan de Ramos one, I think, in 2008. They beat Chelsea in the League Cup final.
But they are the most profitable team in the Premier League. So there you go. We will never sing that.
And that's it. So there's another owner. You don't want him. You don't want Joe Lewis and Ennick at all.
No. I mean, they've got a very nice, shiny stadium.
Yeah, and have lots of nice concerts and American football matches in it.
And a good cheese bar.
Dreadful association football.
Spurs are going to be in trouble, by the way. If you look at their fixtures, they've got City today.
Famous Man United next week.
United next week, then Newcastle, then Arsenal, then Fulham. They've got Palace. There's a bit of respite because Palace are shit at the moment. Then they've got Liverpool. Palace are in trouble. Yeah, I mean, they've got, I think it's 8 or 9 points on West Ham, but still, they could get dragged into that.
But they're playing badly, and they're now buying, what's his name, Guessam from Villa, who is crap. And they're buying Strand Larson from Wolves, who is one of those players...
Yeah, God, 50 million as well. Jesus Christ.
He's someone who looks like he's got some raw materials to be a much better player than we've seen so far, I'd say. He's not someone I'd want to rely on to save my team in a relegation battle.
He's swapping one relegated team for potentially another one. But anyway, Spurs could get dragged into that. They're not that many points ahead. I mean, I guess that is their level, but they could well fire Frank before they play us, I suppose, But they've got a really difficult run.
Yeah, I mean, but if they do lose the next 3 or 4 games, then if the teams around them start to pick up a little bit, Spurs will have a problem. I mean, they're not going to go down, but at some point it'll probably get toxic enough so that they have to fire Frank. It's just then what do you do after that?
Yeah,
but they can't give him money in the summer if it doesn't improve. They'll have to fire him at some point between now and then if it doesn't get better, because they can't. Yeah, they need season ticket renewals. Like it was really empty against Dortmund, the Spurs at the stadium, and they can't afford that. And that's partly because they're crap, but it's also because people feel there's no chance they're going to see anything good. And they did win that game as it happens and play quite well. But but that's it. Is that like they're playing underdog football, and that's why I think they're doing quite well in the Champions League.
That's probably a fair call, yes, but it's not what the Spurs faithful want. I quite liked White Hart Lane.
Oh, that's a great ground. I love White Hart Lane.
It created a good atmosphere. It's not good for people who have claustrophobia, like very tight tunnels and walkways everywhere in that stadium. But, I mean, they've got a shiny new stadium, shit football team. I mean, that's not what we want for United, I tell you. If we get a shiny new stadium, we need a fucking good football team in that shiny new stadium because they can have a lot of seats to fill.
Well, for the first time, this is the closest we've been now since Fergie, I think, because with Ole, we weren't too far off. We were sort of getting there because we could attack, and then he made wrong decisions with the kind of player he bought, I think. Didn't buy a midfield player, basically. Yeah. Whereas I think we know we're getting one this year, and now it's more about picking the right one. It's not they're going to sign the players for the positions that we need. I think this summer, it's about whether they're the right one, picking the right manager. But we're seeing even now that we've got a novice manager, not a novice, but someone who wouldn't get the job if there was a proper application process.
Yeah.
He might get it now because
winning games is pretty good CV, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's showing he can do the job by doing the job. But Michael Carrick is getting this team to beat the 2 best teams in the country, playing well, to beat Fulham. And so what that tells us, it tells us he knows what he's doing, or maybe Steve Holland knows what he's doing, or maybe Woodgate knows what he's doing, or maybe they all know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But it also tells us what we knew before, that the players are good.
Yeah.
And keeping this attack quiet, good luck with that.
Yeah, that lad who wasn't... I think Darnish said last week he had actually cut his hair. Has he cut his hair? I don't follow it, but we could well get 5 games in a row. You know, Amorim only won 3 Premier League games in a row once. And never 4. So I think there's a very good chance of doing that.
Membership means more with American Express Business Gold. Earn 4 times membership rewards points in your top 2 eligible spending categories every month, including eligible U.S. advertising purchases and select media, and U.S. purchases at restaurants, including takeout and delivery. What are you waiting for? Get the card that flexes with your spending every month. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by Trace Minerals. Most people aren't getting the minerals they need to support optimal movement. And your body doesn't make them on its own. That's why Trace Mineral Drops delivers over 70 essential minerals to help restore what your body is missing. So, if you're choosing just one supplement, make it minerals. Trace Minerals. Minerals keep you moving. Save 20% on traceminerals.com with code PODCAST.
When you want your spring break to feel like... and your kids' pool day to feel like... and your hotel bed to feel like... ooh, and room service to feel like... because at Hilton, hospitality feels like...
Your cabana's ready. Would you like fresh towels?
It matters where you stay. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay.
All right, we'll leave it there. Patreon.com/NQATpod if you want to get our extra show. This week, Dom and I went through a long list of potential managers. I'll drop some clips on YouTube about that one.
Should I tell a story?
Yeah, please. Stories, Daniel. Is it about squirrels or your car?
No, it's not about the car. I don't know why I just thought of this now. I thought I just popped into my head, so I thought, okay. So, going to this hotel in Accra for years now, know quite a lot of the staff. So one morning we're at breakfast, and there's one of the chefs. My wife says, I'm looking for the pawpaw. Where's the pawpaw? So he points to over there. Go over there and get it. Sort of took away from where the main food is and towards the door. He starts walking towards it, comes back, and it's there's no pawpaw here. And he goes, no. You need to go out the door and turn left. And it transpires that he thinks my wife, a grown-ass middle-aged woman in her mid-40s, who he has known for years, is going up to her and going, poo-poo, poo-poo. And he's directed her to the toilet.
Oh, dearie me.
Yeah.
What a story. I don't know how to follow that one. Did she find the pawpaw in the end?
She did. Once we established that was what she wanted to eat.
I've never been to Accra or Accra. How'd you say it?
Accra.
Yeah, Accra. I've been to very many countries, but never to Ghana.
We still haven't done a name the countries, Edward.
You know what? I fucking should. Oh, I'll have a story. I haven't been traveling a lot since the pandemic, and obviously I moved to the States during that period as well. But we are going to Tokyo during spring break. I'm looking forward to that. Fantastic city. I love it. I'll have some stories from there as well, hopefully.
Okay.
I should get a crew of Tokyo Reds together to watch a game.
Do it.
I will try and do it. All right, we'll be back during the week and an extra show as well. You can catch some of my nonsense on Substack if you want. And Daniel does the occasional piece for The Guardian. You written anything this week?
I was on the tennis final today.
On the tennis final, all right.
Yeah, that.
Alcaraz won, did he not?
He did.
Youngest man ever to complete a career Grand Slam. So I would the internet told me.
22 and 8 months. But obviously Steffi did it in the women's at 18, and it was a gold. And it was not just a career Grand Slam, it was part of a Grand Slam, as in winning them all. And not just that, it was part of a calendar year Grand Slam, winning them all in 1988. And not even that, it was part of a Golden Slam, because she also won gold and silver at the Olympics. But yeah, I mean, Alcaraz is incredible.
And then she won Andre Agassi's heart.
It's beautiful, man.
His biography is apparently very good. I haven't read it.
Me neither.
Maybe one day.
Join us for more insights next week.
Yeah. ChatGPT summarise this book for me. All right, we'll catch you all in the week. Thanks a lot. Bye now.
It's all right.
Hi, it's Victor Hedman from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hedman with a drive, score! The NHL Stadium Series is coming to the Sunshine State. Watch as we take on the Boston Bruins in the 2026 NHL Stadium Series in Tampa. Catch all the action on Sunday, February 1st on ESPN. Visit NHL.com/Stadium Series for tickets and more information. That's NHL.com/Stadium Series, and I'll see you February 1st.